Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 6 of our look at our favorite female-fronted bands of all time. We've got 30 days in the month of November. We're going to pick out our 30 favorite bands that were fronted by one, or in some cases more than one, female singer, right? Front person is a lady, and some magical stuff happened, right? Because we talk about tons of, bands with guys singing on this channel, right? Because the majority of rock bands have guys singing. But we've had a lot of people asking over the months. It's like, when are you going to talk more about those bands with female singers? Well, we can do it all month now, each and every day. So, and I understand female-fronted rock band is not a genre, all right? It's not meant to be. But we're going to give some love to the ladies and those great bands that they fronted all month here. So play along. I will list one of my 30. Again, these are not in any order. I know some of you yesterday were like, I can't believe he's got Fleetwood Mac so low on his list. There's no list here, right? There's no order. These are all kind of random. They're not ranked in order of my preference. They're just randomly. These are my top 30. Okay, that's what you get. So everybody, feel free to comment on my pick as well as list your pick for that day down in the comments below. So today, day number 6, we're going to take a look at a band that debuted in the late 70s, became quite the sensation here in the States especially. But if you look at some of the chart information on a good chunk of their big albums, they were pretty much a sensation across much of the globe for a handful of years before they broke up for quite a while and then came back again much later on. The band I'm talking about from New York, right, from the New York area, we're talking about Blondie. All right, of course, fronted by the gorgeous and very talented Deborah Harry, or Debbie Harry, as lots of people like to call her. This is Parallel Lines. I tried to figure out what my favorite Blondie album is. It's probably this. I almost wanted to pick this as well, right? Eat to the Beat. But I think Parallel Lines was the first album that most of us kind of got into. I remember when this came out in, what year was this? 1978, right? So I was 12 years old. I was pretty smitten by the music of Blondie at the time, even though in 1978 I was, still a huge Kiss fan, right? But, you'd hear some of these songs on the radio, and be like, oh, she's very pretty, and it's kind of bouncy, fun music, right? It's, again, the style of music that Blondie kind of plays, not really in my normal wheelhouse, right? It's kind of like this post-punk, early new wave, pop rock, even probably influenced a lot of alternative music that would kind of come much later, a couple decades later. But the kind of quirky nature of their arrangements and her really great vocals, I always loved her vocals, made for a very appealing listen to me as a young kid. And even to this day, I still can listen to the music of Blondie, and it brings a smile to my face. So, and on this particular album here, you've got some standout tracks. You have a couple of the hits, right? One way or another, the big rocker on the album. It's got a good, nice chugging riff on there, and nice aggressive vocal from her on that particular one. You got Heart of Glass was the big hit, and that's still a great song. Heart of Glass is excellent. You got Hanging on the Telephone, which is just so infectious. Will Anything Happen? Another good rocker on here. I also like Just Got Away. It was really good. Picture This is nice. You got a couple of mellower tunes on here, right? You got Pretty Baby and Picture This. Fade Away and Radiate is also a little on the mellower side, but I Know But I Don't Know is really good. Sunday Girl is fun. I'm Gonna Love You Too is really good if you get the remastered edition, whenever the hell this came out, 2001. You have a pretty cool live version of the classic song Bang a Gong, Get It On, which is pretty neat hearing them play that. But just a staple of the kind of New York City area live scene back in the late 70s, early 80s. They must have headlined at the CBGBs like a ton of times. That was like one of their mainstay places to play. But let me list who's in the band on this album. Is kind of like the classic lineup of Blondie. You got Jimmy Destri on keyboards, Frank Infante on guitars, Chris Stein also on guitars, Nigel Harrison on bass, Clem Burke on drums, and of course Deborah Harry on vocals. So that makes up the classic lineup of the band. You even got Robert Fripp playing guitar on a track on here, right? Which is kind of neat. Fripp was kind of getting around back in the late 70s, right? He was doing lots of studio sessions with lots of people because King Crimson was not back together yet, right? A couple more years before that. So, yeah, I mean, you really can't go wrong with any of those early Blondie albums. I mean, some people even like going all the way back with this. They have others that are really good. But, yeah, I would say these are probably my two favorites, I guess, right? But definitely Parallel Lines is my favorite. Again, with their black and white suits, right? Deborah's always looking great. So that's my pick for today. So let us know what you think of the music of Blondie, and I guess what do you think of Deborah? Right, great front woman, and a rock and roll icon still to this day. She went off and did movies and all sorts of stuff. So she made a nice career for herself, and always a very entertaining person, no matter what art form she decided to venture into. She's definitely one of the legends, right? So, and let us know what you think of Blondie, as well as your pick for today. Day 6 down in the comments below. We got more coming at you tomorrow and each and every day throughout November, so stay tuned and play along with us each and every day. And we'll see you. Let's see, what do we got coming up this week? So this week, we're going to be playing a little catch-up this week. So tomorrow and Tuesday, we're going to be doing similar shows on both the Hudson Valley Squares and in the Prague seat. So for those of you, I guess, who are Facebook people, you've probably seen in recent weeks, there's this little musical questionnaire thing that people have been passing around on Facebook and answering that asks questions about, first bands you got into, bands you love, bands you hate, bands you could listen to each and every day, the band or artist that got you hooked on music and changed your life, all that sort of stuff. So I have passed around that questionnaire to all members of Hudson Valley Squares and in the Prague seat. And each night, we will be divulging all of those answers to those very, very important musical questions. So that'll be coming up Monday and Tuesday, so tomorrow and Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, of course, we got new album review day. Man, just to let you guys know how much stuff is sitting here that's waiting to be reviewed. We got new Striper, new Alter Bridge, new Motorpsycho, new Talus, new live releases from Frank Zappa, Steve Hackett, Van den Plas. You got an Impellitteri collection. I know some of these I've been mentioning for weeks. I just haven't really had a chance to get to them. We got new Avatarium, new Borealis. We've got the 4 EPs from Tedeschi Trucks Band. We've got the new Leatherwolf, which just came in. I've got Eden Bridge, Dragonland, Iron Savior, Dead City Ruins, Iron Allies, new live Big Train. I mean, just new Arthur Brand. It's so much stuff. So much stuff here that I'm trying to get to, but it'll be slow for the next couple weeks. That's coming up on Wednesday. Thursday, of course, we've got the Monsters Den. Thursday, you're going to get Dan Brown and Davey Gallagher and myself are going to do a dual review of 2 cool new classic horror films that just came out on Blu-ray finally. We've got Mark of the Vampire, starring the great Bela Lugosi, and then we've got the 1930s version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, starring Frederick March, finally came out on Blu-ray. So we're going to be doing a dual review show on those 2, I should say. Friday morning at the Funhouse. The episode you did not get last Friday, Martin Popoff and I will be coming back at you with more talk of those early heavy bands, kind of the proto-metal bands. We'll be looking at some of the early heavy bands from 1970 to set that debuted kind of 1970 to 73 from here in North America, here in the States. So we'll be doing that. And also you'll get this month's edition of 4 Fusion Friday. Right, so 4 great fusion albums we will be talking about and kind of ranking, as well as some other stuff. So that's also happening Friday morning. So we got a few things for you Friday morning. And then we've got the UK Connection on Saturday. Simon Bray, Stephen Reed, and myself will be ranking the songs on another classic album. This will be on a Storyteller's Night from the great Magnum. And then on Sunday, we have ranking the albums, Obscura. Ben Dudai and myself will be ranking the catalog of the great technical and progressive death metal band Obscura. So that's coming up on Sunday. So lots happening this week, so stay tuned for all of that. Some other things we've got in the works. Like I said, there's lots of other ranking shows that are in the works. We've got Clutch coming up at the end of the month. Going to do Morgable. Going to do Derek Sherinian solo. We've got Tom Petty on the horizon. God, there's like a whole bunch of other ranking shows that we're working on. So there's lots of those coming. So stay tuned for that. Rich Catino and I are going to do Striper probably in the not too distant future as well. We were just kind of waiting for the new album to come out. So Striper ranking the albums coming as well. And what else? I'm working on a kind of yacht rock show. Okay, again, an episode on kind of what is yacht rock and maybe some of the 10 must-hear albums that are considered yacht rock. So that's also coming up as well. So lots of things happening in the worlds of metal and hard rock and prog and fusion and yacht rock. So stay tuned for that and more. But more importantly, stay tuned tomorrow morning for another of my favorite female-fronted rock bands of all time coming up at you tomorrow morning. So till then, please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And we also have down below the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, which are all greatly appreciated, as well as our merch page, where we have all sorts of great new Sea of Tranquility stuff on sale. So check it all out. And we'll see you later on. I am Pete Pardo. Have a good rest of your Sunday, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow on Monday as the work week starts all over again. Take care. Bye-bye.